Describe for me the emotions that you felt that night when you saw the numbers coming in, and of course the moment when you realized that primary night wasn't going to end the way you had hoped it would.
Yeah, Tara, frankly, I was shocked. You know, all campaign long, we were way ahead in all the polls. And then on election night, it turns out that the people who actually came out to vote were much different than what they expected. Primary election tends to have a much smaller turnout, much more activists in the Democratic Party. General election, you have more Democrats, more moderate Democrats, you have independents, you have Republicans. And the general election is obviously what matters.
How did the polls get it so wrong? What have you come up with?
Yeah. The polls assume the people who come out to vote will be similar to the people who have come out to vote in the past. What happened here was you had an explosion of young people who were socialists who hadn't never voted before, and like 100,000 people came out to vote who they never expected. And they were overwhelmingly votes for the Assemblyman.
What was the single biggest strategic miscalculation you think the campaign made?
We had such a large lead that the campaign actually played it too safe. This city is at a tipping point, and the next mayor is going to make the determination if we go up or we go down. We're losing people, we're losing wealth. I was not aggressive enough in the campaign, not aggressive enough in making my case for my vision of what I believe needs to be done. Not enough of a discussion about how unrealistic my opponent's solutions were, in my opinion.
What was the moment or specific conversation that really convinced you to stay in and run as a third-party candidate?
Well, you know, I had a lot of New Yorkers come up to me and say, you owe it to the city. We can't become a socialist city. If you say you're going to dismantle the police, public safety is a major issue. Crime is a major issue. So people are afraid of what my opponent is talking about. But we can turn this city around, and we can make this city the shining city it once was. I know that. I feel that in my heart. And I love this city too much not to try.
Now, you have also vowed, though, if you are not the leading candidate outside of Mamdani come September, that you'll bow out. So explain that to me practically how that would work, because, right, didn't we just get the most powerful reminder of how off the polls can be at the end of the day?
It's very simple to determine who's the stronger candidate between myself and Mr. Adams. We're not talking about Mr. Sliwa. He's going to run as a Republican. Let him run as a Republican. It's really between myself and Mr. Adams, because we would split the vote. That would make Mamdani the winner, and we can't let that happen.
You have called Mamdani's policies naive and worse, risky for New York. Which of his policies do you think would hurt the city the most if enacted?
The most dangerous is the basic socialist economic philosophy that is anti-business. A few years ago, I had Amazon coming to New York City. They were going to bring 25,000 new jobs, would have set up a national headquarters, and the socialists killed it and opposed it because they were anti-business. The other policy is he wants to dismantle the police. You dismantle the police. This is an extension of what they did when they defunded the police.
As you're well aware, there are still a large number of Jewish voters in this city who are concerned with his policies as it relates to Israel. His refusal to condemn certain language that is out there. Some of his critics have called him anti-Semitic. Do you believe that Zohran Mamdani is anti-Semitic?
You know, that calls to look into someone's heart and soul, and I'll leave that to a higher authority. I can tell you that statements that he will not disavow, like globalized intifada, which basically means kill Jewish people, That is highly disturbing. His praise of Hamas, who are terrorists, that is very disturbing. And not only is the Jewish community in New York the largest Jewish community anywhere outside of Israel, they're a vital part of New York City. And you can have your own global views, but you can't split the city. And you have the Jewish community that is very concerned about growing anti-Semitism, as they should be. And I want to be a healer, not a divider.
You, over the decades, you have had extreme and frankly extraordinary successes and of course also setbacks. When we're looking at the big picture, your decision to stay in this race, what do you hope it says about your legacy at the end of the day?
I believe in New York. I believe in public service. I know that I can make government work. We are at a critical moment, Tara. We have people leaving this city every day. That has to stop. We have to turn it around. And I know how to help do that. And I want to make sure I do everything I can. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.